This came out of nowhere. This is maybe the most stunning trade, definitely that I've been a part of in recent NBA history. And I'm told Luka Doncic, LeBron James had no idea. It's the most stunning trade that I've definitely been a part of.
Man, oh man, in today's video, we are going to be making a build for Lakers point guard Luka Doncic. That is something I never thought I would have to say, and with this happening, I ended up doing this video overnight, so this video came out as quick as possible, and we got this out pretty much within a day of the trade happening. So if you guys enjoy NBA player build content like this, make sure to drop a like and subscribe for more, and let's get into today's video. Let's go. Okay, so this build is going to be a 6'7" point guard, weight 230 pounds with a 6'11" wingspan. There's a little bit of a controversy here with the height because now on ESPN and NBA he's listed at 6'6", but for the majority of his career he has been listed at 6'7", so we're gonna go with 6'7" because I mean, hey, he's 6'7" in shoes anyway, so we're gonna go 6'7". We're gonna start things off here in the finishing. We're gonna have an 87 driving layup, and I'm going to preface this really quick. I have 13 cap breakers. I will be showing a build at end of this video that doesn't require as many cap breakers, but realistically you can make this build very similar to how I made it with only 5 cap breakers and just work your way towards the other ones whenever you can. So we're gonna start things here with the driving layup, 87 driving layup. I'm putting 3 cap breakers there to get it to 90 for physical finisher on gold. Gets us the Luka layup style. We're gonna have a 75 driving dunk. That's gonna get us the Luka dunk style, bronze posterizer. Now Luka nowadays doesn't really dunk the ball a whole lot, so if you're somebody who doesn't have a whole lot of cap breakers and you want to sacrifice the dunk, hey, you could drop the dunk to like a 40, 50 something and then start putting that somewhere else. But it's kind of weird in this year's game because dunk is really cheap to upgrade on most builds, so I don't even know how much you would get out of that. But yeah, 75 driving dunk, 55 standing dunk. For some reason, if I went any lower, couldn't get the Luka shade, so we just went 55. 84 post control is going to get us Hall of Fame post fade phenom, which is really nice to have on these type of builds. Overall, finishing wise, this build is going to be really solid. You're going to be good out the post, driving to the rim with the layups, the floaters, the scoops, the hop steps, the euros. I wish they were a little bit better in this year's game, but unfortunately they're not. But if you put on high risk and you kind of lock in with the timing, you can get used to most of the layup animations. Some of them are just way too fast. But now let's take a look at some of those finishing highlights. All right, so when it comes to the finishing on this build, like I mentioned earlier on, you're going to have a whole lot to work with offensively. You have the post game, you have the ability to drive to the rim. We just spin right past somebody, hit him with the Euro step in the lane, and we get on that rim. But man, I'm really just thinking about it. This trade is absolutely insane. Listen. I know finishing clips, okay, that's what we're supposed to be here talking about, but let's just be real for a second here. Let's talk. How did this happen? What made them want to trade arguably a top 3 player in the league? It just will never make sense to me. Okay, so now for the shooting, we're gonna have an 88 mid-range shot, which is where I'm putting 5 cap breakers to get it up to 93 for Hall of Fame set shot specialist. And then we're also going to have an 83 3-point rating on this build for bronze limitless range. Shooting's gonna be pretty easy on this build for the most part, and yeah, let's take a look at some of those shooting clips. All right, so now for the shooting clips, we're not gonna have a crazy amount here. We're just gonna be open here on the wing, catch, fire. It's gonna go in without any issue. Now, if you guys want to know the custom that I was using, I did not show the animations in this video, but I will tell you guys the custom shot right now. It's Luka Doncic releases, but we used Kevin Durant's base. So it's a very similar set shot, something that Luka would probably use, but we switched it to a faster base. But it still has really good timing stability, and it kind of looks like something Luka would use. It's just that Luka base is just way too slow. But I wanted to still use something that has that like set shot look to it that I think would make sense with a Luka build. And for the rest of the animations, I was using 99% of Luka's animations. The only one I opted out on was his dribble pull-up. I just had to use Pro 2. I tried to use his dribble pull-up. It's just awful. I had to switch to Pro 2. But take a look at this right here. Luka Doncic's signature go-to shot with a heat check, step it back, green. All right, so that's going to be it for the shooting clips. And now let's move on to playmaking. Okay, so now for the playmaking, we went with an 89 pass accuracy. Now we went with 89 because this is where we're going to use our second set of cap breakers to get it up to 94 for that Luka Doncic pass style. I know it's not the greatest pass style, but there is something about putting that pass style on that makes the build feel very unique, and it makes it feel a lot more like Luka. You're going to see that in just a moment. Some of the passing animations you get, they definitely look like something Luka would do. 86 ball handle gets a silver ankle assassin, silver handles for days, silver unpluckable, and Hall of Fame strong handle, which I did at max +1 when I was playing, but I'm probably going to at some point do like a legend strong handle video, but we'll probably get to that whenever we can. But the 86 ball handle gets you all the Luka SIGs, and I think it's a decent rating to go to for on a 6'7". Then the speed with ball is going to be an 80, so you'll have silver lightning launch with whatever dribble style you want to use. You could use D-Book, you can use Jalen Green, I used Luka Doncic just because I'm doing a Luka Doncic video. That's going to be it for the playmaking. Let's take a look at some of these clips so you can really see how good the playmaking is on this build. Okay, so this clip section is going to be the longest part of the video. We got a lot of passing clips to go over, and there's that Luka Doncic pass style right there. It's actually really fun to use. A lot of the animations that he does definitely looks like something Luka would do. Now, I will say, since the animations are kind of long at times and they usually feature a pass fake or a shot fake kind of baked into them and a bunch of no-look passes, with this pass style, I recommend, and that was a really great break pass. That reminded me of LeBron pass style, I'm not gonna lie to you. But with this pass style, you gotta be really careful about when you pass. Since these animations, like I mentioned, are way longer, you have to make these passes way sooner, especially in the half court. The half court passes definitely have a lot more of those pump fakes, no looks built into them. But when you make the pass at the right time in those windows, it's definitely got some flash to it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I only played a couple of games on this build, and like I've probably mentioned at some point already, we will be getting more gameplay with this build, and we will make sure that we take full advantage of the Luka pass style. Like, there's just so many cool passing animations in it. It might not be the best pass style, but I thought it was really fun. But now, since we're in that playmaking conversation, let's talk about like the actual NBA aspect of Luka Doncic, the playmaker he is, being on the Los Angeles Lakers. We can all agree Luka is one of the greatest playmakers in the league right now, and we can even argue all time. I'm not gonna like fully defend it, but hey, he's a really great passer. And then you pair him with LeBron James, who is literally probably one of the greatest passers ever, if not the greatest passer ever. So I just can't imagine the playmaking capabilities of this team. It's gonna be like literally Showtime Lakers. You're gonna have Luka throwing lobs to LeBron. You're gonna have LeBron hitting Luka on a cut, hitting Luka off ball, even though Luka's really not that great off ball, but you get the sentiment. You can run pick and roll in either direction. You could have Bron screen for Luka. You can have Luka screen for Bron. They all create their own mismatches. Like, there's just so much that they're going to be able to do with those two in PNR, off the ball, on ball. Like, man, the playmaking highlights that we are going to see with the Los Angeles Lakers over the coming months are probably going to be absolutely insane. Now we move down to the defense. Now listen, this build was a lot more tricky to make this year than in previous years, so you just gotta hang with me here on this one. 60 interior defense, 62 perimeter defense for Bron's immovable enforcer, 60 steal for Bron's interceptor. The 60 steal for the Bron's interceptor really isn't that bad. The only problem with this is 62 perimeter defense. If I could have found a way to get everything that I wanted on offense while having like a 74 perimeter defense, this build would have been perfect, but I just couldn't make it happen. 68 block for high flying denier on Bronze, and you're probably wondering, you could just drop the block, and then that's how you get the perimeter defense. But block is actually kind of cheap, and not only that, block just helps you get better jump contest, whether that's in the paint or on the perimeter. So I'd rather have a 60 prim with a 60 block than a 70 prim with a 40 block, because block just helps you get better jump contest. And as you guys know in this game, sometimes you just have to jump to get a good contest. So we ended up going with a 68 block. Offensive rebound is going to be 65, and then defensive rebound is going to be an 85. And this is actually the thing we max +1. We max +1 to rebound chaser to gold. We have gold box out beast. At some point, I've been wanting to do this for the longest time, ever since he did it. But at some point, we're going to try and go for that 60-point triple-double. That 60, 21, and 10 he had against the Knicks a couple years back. We're going to try and do that at some point. I don't know how, I don't know when, and I don't know if it's possible, but we're going to go for it. I got to get really proficient on this build in order for that to be a thing, because I got to drop 60 on a 6'7", which we'll see how that goes. And I don't want it to be just all like me cherry picking, but I can't, because I can't even cherry pick, because I got to get 20 boards. But yeah, we'll talk about that at some other point. But now that's it for the defense. Let's just take a look at a couple defensive highlights really quickly. It's really just going to be a bunch of steals, but just to show you can really get lanes with the Bronze interceptor even after patch. And that is the full Luka Doncic build. And let's just talk about the physicals really quickly, because the weaknesses of this build are defense and physicals, just like Luka, way more than it has been in previous years, because it's just really hard to make Luka in this year's game. Last year, it was so easy. You just make a 6'8" point guard, boom, easy, no problem. 6'8s were so good last year. This year is a little bit more tricky. So we're gonna have 80 speed, 72 agility, which is just enough for the shifty shooter on gold, 84 strength for the strong handle on Hall of Fame, and then a 65 vertical to get bronze posterizer. And this is the Luka Doncic build. Now, when it comes to how you would make this if you weren't a vet 2, there's a couple of ways you could go about it. If you don't care for the Luka pass style, you could really just stay 89 and then you could just use Hallie. So there's 5 cap breakers gone. And then most people, I'm pretty sure, already have these 5 cap breakers right here. So you would just put it into midi. Don't put it into pass act. Just have the 89 pass act. And then if you have like 1 or 2, you can just slowly start ticking up the layup. But I'm pretty sure with 87, you do get Luka's layup style. You might need 88 though, but I'm not certain. So if you only have like 1 cap breaker, put it in the layup or whatever you want to get the Luka layup style, and then just put 5 in the midi if you don't have a million cap breakers like I do. Because to be honest with you, you could probably make just as good passes as I do with just an 89 if you put on Hallie. Hallie is legit if you guys haven't seen. It's really insane. But yeah, that is the Luka Doncic build. We're going to come out of the My Player Builder. We are going to get shades of at number 1, Luka Doncic, LaMelo Ball, and Cade Cunningham. And man, seeing the Mavs logo there, knowing that he no longer plays for the Dallas Mavericks is absolutely insane. This is probably the most like altering NBA I'm gonna yap here for a second because Luka is literally like my favorite player. This is probably the trade that has altered the NBA the most ever since I started watching. I started watching basketball like 2020, 2021, and obviously there was a KD trade thrown in there somewhere, but man, I mean, this is when healthy, we're talking top 3 player in the league, top 5 if you don't agree with that. Just getting traded to the Lakers for Anthony Davis, a couple other pieces, but man, this is absolutely insane. But yeah, man, that's gonna be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. We will definitely get more gameplay on this build, especially once Luka comes back, starts playing for the Lakers. We'll get more content with that. But yeah, man, that's gonna be it for today's video. I'm absolutely shocked. Put in the comments down below how you guys feel about this trade, but I'm out, man.